You know, our pets are now our family members, and that means that when they get sick, they have to be treated. They're not just discards, they're not creatures who don't get our loving attention, and that means veterinary care. And that means that veterinarians have an enormous role to play in the human-animal bond, and really making sure that the animals who are the family members in our lives get all of the medical attention they need. And that means not just when they're sick, it also means prevention. And it means really doing all that we can on the front end to make sure that animals' lives are healthy and rich, and that disease and illness can be prevented. You know, things are really evolving when it comes to animal health care. We treat them now as members of the family, and that means they deserve and need medical care. So I think veterinarians have an enormous role to play. And I think independent veterinarians, like the folks who are at the Animal Wellness Clinic in Los Angeles, have such a tremendously important role in helping these creatures. And vets now bring an incredible array of tools to treat animals who are ill, and also now to think about ways to prevent illness. And I think that's where the Animal Wellness Center really comes in. With Dr. Annie, they are pioneering preventative medicine, really integrating many different traditions in veterinary care to provide the best care, treatment, and prevention for animals who are now members of our families. I think what's so great about Dr. Annie is she asks first what is best for the animal. And then I think she's drawing from a variety of different tools to really provide the best care possible. She's drawing from Eastern medicine, from Western veterinary medicine. She's looking at behavior issues, she's looking at nutrition. Really, it's a holistic approach to animal health and well-being and care. And I think that's just very different than what you get at a lot of other centers, where we sometimes look just at disease, look at one particular problem and isolate it, and that's important, and we need to do it, but I think this broader sort of holistic veterinary approach is one that's going to serve the animals before they get ill and before they get sick, and maintain healthy individual well-being. You know, I'm not a veterinarian. I'm president of the Humane Society of the United States, and I obviously deeply care about animals. And I want to use all the tools that we have at our disposal to address all the problems that animals face. And that means looking at the big picture problems. And when it comes to individual animal care, it means looking at what the best practices are, and not just drawing from the kind of traditional approaches that we have become familiar with in this country, but looking to what's working in China and in the East, and really figuring out what is the best mix between Western style medicine and Eastern style medicine to give the best outcomes for the animals. And I think that's the bottom line. Is Dr. Annie's asking the question, what is best for the animal? And then how do we get there in terms of achieving health? And I think that she's just drawing from a larger pot of resources to achieve that outcome. You know, Western medicine has been criticized on a lot of bases in terms of human medicine. You know, that we're just dealing with the consequences of the problem. We're not looking at lifestyle. I mean, you can treat heart disease, you know, after someone has a heart attack or after their arteries are clogged, or you can think about, you know, what nutrition, what exercise, and you can really try to prevent the problem before it occurs in the human system. And I think the same principles are at work with animals. I mean, we don't just deal with problems of illness and maladies after a crisis has occurred within an individual system. We want to prevent these problems through the proper behavioral issues, the proper nutrition, the application of preventative medicines and procedures and protocols. And I think the Animal Wellness Centers is really pioneering in this realm. And I think that Dr. Annie in particular really has a grasp on this. We want to prevent illness because it's better for the animal, it's better for the keeper of the animal, it means lower vet costs in the long run, and it means better health in the long run. So it's a great win-win outcome for everybody involved. I've known Dr. Annie for a couple of years now, and really she's a fabulous veterinarian. She's now on the Leadership Council of the Humane Society Veterinary Medical Association. So I think what she's doing is blending kind of a private practice model with individual health care for animals in her community, but she's also looking at the bigger picture because the Humane Society Veterinary Medical Association looks at how veterinarians can be part of the larger solution in promoting animal protection. Veterinarians should be at the forefront of animal protection. Oftentimes they're in the rear guard, or sometimes they're even standing in the way. The major professional association in the field, the American Veterinary Medical Association, is often very associated with agribusiness and industries that are exploiting animals. And you would think they would be standing shoulder to shoulder with the Humane Society of the United States, with the Humane Society Veterinary Medical Association, and tackling the big crises for animals. Unfortunately, they're not. But Dr. Annie is part of a new generation of veterinarians who are putting the animals first, who are asking the right questions about what we can do for animals to make this world a better place for them. And that means good individual care at home and at an animal wellness center. And it also means the broader macro level solutions for animals in tackling the big problems. And Dr. Annie has raised her voice on those bigger issues, challenging factory farming, addressing animal fighting, combating puppy mills, but also really focusing on the individual animals that are the family members of people in the community. And it's that balance that I think is so striking about Dr. Annie, and it's why I'm such a big fan, and why I think the Animal Wellness Centers is just a fantastic center for animals.